Cheers.
Slange. So Tormore was built in 1959, or completed in 1959.
It was.
And it was put together by an American company, but it's a slightly bigger team than that.
Huge team, incredibly exciting team as well. So we've got the likes of, obviously, Shenley Industries. So we've got Lewis Rosenthal, who was a pretty interesting character on his own.
The gangster.
Well, okay, yeah, well, I mean, we can call him a gangster.
Yeah, the gangster.
So made his money in America selling alcohol through the Prohibition years. You say gangster, I say gangster also.
Yeah.
But American things, they like to get congressmen, so politicians. So he came over here, tried to get the biggest politician he could.
So the largest politician he could at the time was actually Winston Churchill. And he did try. He sent him lots of gifts, and had to settle for a man named Brendan Bracken, who was Churchill's right-hand man.
Also another impressive character.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He seemed to be a bit of a charmer from all the accounts we could find.
He was Irish.
Yeah, and a bit in love with Scotland.
Yeah.
He kept promising he was going to move to Scotland, but sadly never did.
He also favoured our prolific architect, Albert Richardson, because he'd done a small job for him in Fleet Street before he came here.
Yeah.
I mean,
he himself is pretty odd. Like, he would only ever work by candlelight. Mm-hmm. So he didn't believe in electricity, and he was obsessed with community buildings and the idea of buildings sitting in their landscape. He was obsessed with the Georgian era, which probably explains an awful lot of the Tormore build.
Yeah.
And he was massively detail focused. So some of the signage and things we've got, he designed himself.
Even the lights.
Even the lights, yeah, every single
light. The lights, the signs, absolutely everything. And that whole community aspect was absolutely part of his design.
Yeah. To
build a community that the people who worked here, lived here, but also had their recreation time here. So we've got the curling pond, we've got the village hall.
Yeah.
And all of that from these 3 mines so far.
And then, of course, you need someone who actually knows about whiskey. So if you were going to hire someone to talk about whiskey, you definitely go to a poet.
For sure.
Who wrote prolifically about whiskey in the 1920s. So they brought in Neil Gunn.
Who wasn't a massive fan of anybody other than Scottish people building distilleries in Scotland.
No, he had a really clear vision of what it was to be Scottish and to be in the Highlands. So they may have led him astray at the start and suggested that it was a Scottish laird and not an American businessman building Tormore Distillery. But he himself wrote prolifically around this idea of communities and community distillation. It's a really romanticised version of what whiskey actually was.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that Tormore, between those characters, ended up almost being the embodiment of that romantic version of single malt.
Even the facade of the building, it's inviting, it's uplifting, everything about it is full of promise and optimism. And I think that one of the things I love is the fact that it's called the Pearl of Speyside. And I think that's, apart from anything else, you know, if you talk of somebody as a real treasure, they're a pearl.
Yeah.
But I think the distilleries like that, because it showed the optimism of the time, the era, and what they thought that whiskey would be. And as the distillery was set up, it was pretty unique in that era.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely different. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of the first complete new builds of the 20th century. There were a lot of other distilleries built that were recommissioned, either breweries or factories. And any of the other really new ones through the 60s, they're essentially kind of concrete, they're very functional boxes, great places to make lots of spirits.
Yeah.
I think Tormore, you're a distiller, you can say it's incredibly beautiful, but maybe not functional.
No.
As you might use it every day.
Yes, yeah, but on the flip side, we do get spaces like we've got in the still house. So we've got this incredible overhead lantern, which just piles in this amazing light, these windows that are admittedly actually very functional, but also very beautiful.
Yeah.
So we've got lovely little details like that around the place.
Yeah, but you maybe wouldn't have quite as big a building, so you don't have to lift all your stills out through the window.
Possibly.
No.
Possibly. They did think about it and gave us some lifting ice, so that was nice.
In terms of the spirit and how it's made, you can see in the records that we inherited that Tormore was always destined for blends. It was always destined for Long John and Black Bottle, which were the blends, the Scottish blends that Shenley owned. But we also have records that they were laying it down as single malt. From day one, they had this idea that single malt would be an important part of Tormore's future. And that was really far forward for Scotch.
Visionary.
Yeah. Because there wasn't really, in 1959, you didn't have many single malt Scotch whisky brands.
No. Well, I can't name
No, not many. One of the things that's really interesting in here, though, is this still house particularly is the character that you make here.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of it is the original equipment that creates that. So whether that's the slightly larger stills that we've got, so lower amounts of spirit, or
that's it, because we only fill them 2/3.
Yeah.
It makes for maximum copper contact. We've obviously got those amazing purifiers, which instantly add a huge amount more copper interaction and reflux. Everything that gets in there for the first wee while comes straight back into the main body of the still. So everything is there to accentuate that elegant, nice, clean freshness that is in the new.
Fruity spirit. Yeah. When we walk through here and the stills are all on, one of the things you pointed out to me when we first walked in is that you smell a different cut almost everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So it's this incredible cacophony of flavour. And we were chatting about the clock tower, which overlooks us there, and the fact that bells ring every 15 minutes with a different Scottish tune. And it's almost like we're playing that tune in this still house with them.
It is. I think it's a harmonious way of making whiskey. But it is absolutely, as you say, when folk are walking through here, it really knocks people that know distilleries, because we stagger the way the stills run, and they're kind of circular. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So it's quite an interesting mingle of smells, especially all the way up to the safe. And if the windows are open, you get this amazing sort of blast of flavour when you get up there as well. It's a very special place.
It's a very special place.